We in the mix. Well, this counts as an episode, but it's definitely a reaction to the Super Bowl. What up? What up? It's Raymundo. Put it in perspective. Back at it again. Brady wins his seventh Super Bowl. I want to do a cheap. I can't do an applause. How dare you? How dare you fail me? Yeah, man. Tom Brady wins his seventh Super Bowl. So, long round of applause for that. He played amazing. My man Honey Badger was out of his mind. What the hell was he thinking? Antagonizing and Brady pops. He pops back. He called him out. He scored a touchdown, and he chased the midfield. And he was like, "Bro, I'm throwing at you. Like you were guarding him. I just scored on you, fool." You gotta love him, man. He has Tom Brady represents like beyond the All-American quarterback, man. Joe Montana was not this cool. He was cool breeze, but Tom Brady's cool like modern day, step in your face, having fun out there also, pretty intense. And he's a winner, man. Same thing we love Kobe for, Jordan for. The last couple of years of LeBron, but even then it's man, you gotta give him his props on this day. You gotta give Brady his props. That's all, you gotta give him, his just due. I don't know if I could do we should have done it earlier in the week, but no matter what the result for me, it was, I didn't really watch football this year, but I'm just able to pick up on the usual. There's like a usual theme for football and most sports. Once the last 12 years, really since in the middle of Brady's prime, they changed the rules. And I'll just get into it, man. Some people might call it hate. Call it whatever you want. Call it whatever you want. But he's up there with the greatest. If there's a Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks, he's got to be up there for me now, especially with his poise. He's the most poised, Derek Jeterish quarterback we ever had. But I'm in the middle of his prime. They changed the rules for football. You can't hit the quarterback the way you used to. So you're only able to send 4 guys at a time, and they have to come from any direction. So the Giants were able to beat them twice because they had an all-time great front 4 on the defense. And today, Tampa Bay, I didn't watch football this year, but they had a former Giant out there, JPP, had some crazy jokes on Twitter. The craziest joke I heard was they're running out of fingers. JPP's running out of fingers for rings. That was intense. That was an intense joke. Yeah, but once I saw, I could tell in the first quarter, I said, if this is how the Bucs play defense, then Patrick Mahomes is done. Now I think he was hurt. His toe was, I don't know what's wrong with his toe. It kept on talking about Patrick Mahomes' toe, but even if he was 100% healthy, I couldn't see Kansas City defense. They had a great stop on 4th and goal at the 1-yard line. I think that was in the second quarter. They stopped the Buccaneers at the 1-yard line, and that's what I love about Tom Brady also and Belichick. They would take these chances. They were playing a video game out there. They really took the heat. They took advantage of every moment. So Kansas City had a good stop there, but their defense wasn't. They weren't championship material. They weren't really too opportunistic. There was one play where Honey Badger thought he had an interception. That was off a tip pass. It wasn't like it was a bad throw by Brady. It was a tip pass, and they overturned it. I think it was a holding penalty or something like that. But Brady, for the most part, he was throwing on target. These guys were like the Bucs from the front line, the pressure on the quarterback to the way that they were playing the wide receivers. They weren't letting up. So Mahomes couldn't even look downfield, and when he did, he was worried about having to. I mean, Mahomes is great, man. He's great. Like he obviously hasn't hit his physical prime yet, even though he looks. If he's looking this beat up by, his second Super Bowl, his third year in the league, right? Hopefully, he has about 5 or 6 more years of this kind of level of play. But the fact that he's able to maneuver like that and not be scared, like he did not play scared. We got to get hats off to Mahomes, man. Like there were if he, they speak about Tariq Hill's speed, but and then Kelsey was missing, and he's not that fast. He should really look at Gronk's. Gronk was killing in the first half. Speaking of Gronk, but Mahomes didn't have a big target to throw to when he would escape out the pocket. So I'm trying to think of who was a mobile quarterback. Like Aaron Rodgers, he finally got a big wide receiver this year, if I'm not mistaken. But you know, those big wide receivers, like when Russell Wilson is one of these mobile quarterbacks that it extends the play, and he does it with in the flow of the game. A lot like I like to see the great players in basketball, like when they force the run, like that was Michael Vick's issue. He would rely on his run game, and it was like you got to play in the flow of an offense. You got to be able to throw the defense off. You should be disrupting their plan. You should have them guessing. They should not know what you're going to do next. And Mahomes has that ability. And but there were a couple plays where he was thrown to the end zone, a couple of drop passes. And it was tough because you would need another great wide receiver. He needed another real great. Like Tariq Hill is really good, but you can't. He's too small. Like the rule changes help that guy enough. Speaking of being helped by rule changes, someone like that, a wide receiver like that, 20 years ago, they wouldn't be able to do whatever he did. They would mash him. Tariq Hill would not have 4 seasons like that. In real football. Like this ain't real football. They try to let them go in the playoffs and the Super Bowl, but they still don't. I think the defenses in the NFL like desensitized now. Like we can't go back to the old school. They don't even know what that is anymore. It's been so long. Brady knows about the old school though, so he does have that under his belt. We got to give him his credit. He did win during the old school. People bring up the tuck rule. People will bring up Deflategate. There's a bunch of stuff, but being around for 20 years and then reaching the ultimate goal in half that time span, 10 years out of your 20, you reach the Super Bowl. That's never been done before. So he's going to reach all these accolades and all these awards and all these accomplishments that he's going to deserve a round of applause for. He played like I said, he almost played flawlessly. And that defense for the Bucks, they should get more shine. I'm pretty sure Brady's going to give him love. He just seems like a fun dude to be around. The fact that he brought Antonio Brown back over there, he could probably call the Gronk. You know what I mean? Like he's totally a professional. I think he's a little awkwardish, antisocialist, like Kobe, where they learned how to have a personality, but they're really just sports nerds. They're nerds about their business, and as a fan, that's what you want. That's what you want. And you know what? Even if you don't root for them, that's what you want. That's what you want to see. You want to see this performance. Give it his all. It's a gladiator sport, so it's a catch-22. It's a bit. It can get hypocritical for us as a fan if you go, you want the old school football back, but these guys are all leaving. They all end up like they went to war. When you have Mike Ditka and all these old school guys complaining about, for such a long time about the medical, their medical scenarios, their health, mental health, that was swept under the rug. By the way, I mean, football got some skeletons in their closet. And again, Brady, he was able to win in that era, and he's able to win in the new era. So you just can't take that away from him, man. And hopefully we see some more of that greatness with Mahomes and the kid Josh Allen in Buffalo. He's looking like he's really good too. But yeah, I gave him all the props in the world now. I guess it's time for me to hate. Time for me to hate, damn it. My opinion, in my opinion, it's not as easy to be able to tell who is that standout great in football. And there's only one player, the best football player ever, the best football player to ever exist is Lawrence Taylor, LT. That's a different conversation, but he changed football. They made a single back for him. The left tackle, ironically, which has the initials of LT, they became more athletic. The blind side, it was, that was the evolution of the blind side protection. It happened a lot more faster than they wanted to because of Lawrence Taylor. He changed the game. You understand? So that's a different kind of thing to me. But you're able to see you're able to see this guy's effect on the game. And he really only had 9, maybe 10 years in the league where he was great. It really, he might have had 7 or 8, but his influence on the game was such that we have to change the rules now, And with Brady, they changed the rules for him as well. Whoa, we can't lose this guy. He's the face of football. We can't lose this guy. It was when he got his leg broken and Matt Castle filled in for him. And they went 11-5 or something like that season. Randy Moss was there. So we missed out on this on 2 seasons back to back with Moss and Brady. That's when Plaxico shot it. I'm a Giants fan, so I don't mind you calling Brady the GOAT, because if he's the GOAT, we beat him twice. I don't care. You call him the GOAT. We beat the GOAT twice. We got the recipe. We got the sauce. We cracked the Da Vinci Code. So yeah, I feel it's not as easy when we have that conversation in basketball. It's like Jordan and LeBron. No one can argue at this point that those are the 2 best all time. Like, people try to mention Kareem, they'll try to throw Kobe. The Kobe is recency bias, in my opinion. Physically, I don't think Kobe was on their level. God bless the dead. But you can see their impact on the game once they step on the court. Even like a Shaquille O'Neal or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, what makes Jordan and LeBron special is that they are big men in a big man's game. They stand out, and their impact is such that both teams, you can see the perfect example is when LeBron game 6, when he's on Miami versus San Antonio, and he, 3 quarters, he's playing kind of like lollygagging. He does a LeBron thing. He's kind of overthinking, reading the defense, and then all of a sudden, one play, they're losing, and then one play they smack the headband off, and he's playing without even thinking, and it's a totally different animal. Look at the Spurs. Watch how the Spurs react to LeBron. They are intimidated by him. That's a human thing. That's a human thing. Anybody knows, especially woman or guy, man or woman, when there's somebody in your presence that you may have to think twice about, it's a human thing to respond to that. And in basketball, it's so much easier to be able to read that in a player, because they impact the game that way individually. I don't point to team accomplishments when it comes to that. And in football, I feel like they do have that. The quarterback only plays one side of the field, first of all. And if we're going to talk about the greatest quarterbacks, for me, Tom Brady had an opportunity that nobody else had ever in football. Nobody. 19 years of playing with Bill Belichick, right? 19 years of playing with Bill Belichick. 19 years of playing with Bill Belichick. with no salary cap. I mean, with the salary cap. So Belichick came from a world where there was a salary cap and you have a couple of teams that have a chance to win. Whoever spends the most money, whoever gets lucky, whoever has the best quarterbacks have the best chance, more or less. And and the best system though. The 80s and 90s were different. The great quarterbacks got you there, but the great defensive teams and great defensive coaches, they brought you to victory. And Belichick had more rings than Brady still. Let's not forget about that. Giants, G-Men, 2 rings with the G-Men. That's where he made his name, by the way. Know your history. So 19 years with Belichick, 19 years with a salary cap. That changes everything. That changes everything for me. You have one of the smartest GMs in football. And then along with that, anytime you see a great coach with a great quarterback in football, they're going to the championship. They're going to the championship. That's guaranteed. I don't know a combination that did it. You know, the Elways of the world. Marino didn't have, like, people think, I think Don Shula's way overrated. I don't even know where he won the ring before Marino got there. But what happened to his GM? It goes back to what I'm always going to say about in basketball. You only have 4 or 5 teams each year that can make it. And these 4 or 5 teams, they usually include a great GM or a good GM. It's that 1%er thing that I guess in that case, was that 5 out of 30 teams? So it's 1 out of 6, less than 20%. So top 15, it's like 15% of the teams have an actual chance of winning in the NBA, because you have a salary cap, but you're able to have, it's only really 4 or 5 GMs that, you know, understand, like they're just smart for whatever reason. And then you have like 5 to 7 teams that are just dumb. And in football, it's a little bit different. I think the GMs, there's been parity for so long that it doesn't take that much. You look at the Bucks. The Bucks, you see, and you would say the Bucks didn't make the playoffs last year because Jameis Winston was there. Jameis Winston is just one of the worst, like, quarterbacks ever. That might be a stretch because he can throw the ball. He's just not disciplined. And but the team looked good. I didn't understand why he was doing so bad. We have 2 big wide receivers like that and a great tight end. It didn't make sense. That's why they got rid of him. And obviously, you know, Brady goes there, so why not? But it's in football, who made it to the championship the last 20 years? The worst quarterback was Eli. The worst quarterbacks that win the last 20 years is Eli Manning and Joe Flacco. Everyone else has been Kurt Warner. It's been Aaron Rodgers, Ben Roethlisberger. Oh, and the guy from the Eagles that we forgot his name. Nick Foles. With 4 of them. 4 out of the last 20 years. 7 of them Brady won. Right? So there's 13 left. Well, 11 because Eli has 2. Right? So it's Rodgers, Roethlisberger, like I said. Baltimore's Flacco. I can run down the list. Seattle, he's a really good. Russell Wilson's a good quarterback. He's up there top 5. Great defense. Peyton Manning, won twice. All these are great quarterbacks. You cannot, in the NFL, you can't win without a great quarterback. Now, name me which one of those quarterbacks had the same coach and GM for the last 19 years. I'm just asking. And again, that's not taking away from Brady's greatness because he has to be one of the greats to win. That's what the last 20 years have shown me. In order to win, you got to be great. If not, you have less of a chance. Eli Manning played it like a great quarterback in the playoffs. There was like a different Eli Manning. Like I'm a Giants fan, but I knew Eli Manning looked crazy out there. He looked like he had an extra chromosome inside his helmet. That's the way he played. So, and Flacco had a great run also. And that's when Kaepernick almost won. They had a great team. That defense was incredible for the 49ers. But when you have a really, really good defense and you have a quarterback like that, you have a really great chance to win. The Chiefs. Oh, Patrick Mahomes. I forgot about Mahomes. The last 20 years to win. Simple math, man. It's simple math. I don't think any quarterback. My favorite quarterback of all time is Dan Marino. I'm always going to be biased about that. He didn't get a fair shot. He didn't get a fair shake. 12 or 13 years straight where he didn't sit down. He started 12 straight years, 13 straight years, no injuries. He didn't sit down. He's like a statue, no audibles. No audibles. Straight, snap, gun it. All records broken. If Dan Marino played in this era in the last 13 years, you can forget about every single record again. He all the records that they're breaking now, they're breaking his records. So, and I'm probably exaggerating, but I'm not exaggerating who he was. And he sniffed it, yeah. It's a different dude, man. You just can't tell me Brady is just better than Elway. You know what I mean? Like, he's better than him in maybe other aspects. He was more patient in the pocket, read the defense is better, maybe. But, Elway didn't have Belichick for 19, 20 years in this era, by the way, because Belichick wasn't going to do that in that era. You couldn't. It was a salary cap. So, you had Jerry Jones out there who was buying everybody out. The salary cap I have to look this up, but it was probably created because Jerry Jones was going to buy everyone. He would have just spent everything on it, on great players. So that was my take on Brady. People try to argue with me, but there's no arguing that. If you put John Elway on the Patriots for the last 20 years, they don't go to 10 championship, 9 championship. They're just healthy. He's not going to say John Elway, mobile quarterback. Even Aaron Rodgers. You put Aaron Rodgers in the Patriots. You put Marino in any system. I think he's going to win, but if you give him a great GM and a great coach for 20 years, he's going to 10. He's going to do the same thing, and he's going to break numbers, and it'll be more exciting. Not to take anything away from Brady. It is his day, but that's my take on it, man. Excuse me. Congrats to him. Congrats to Brady again. That Trump mother lover. People were tripping on that, man. Like, your garbage man is probably a Trump supporter, bro. Like, calm down, guys. Relax out there. You got to calm down, man. That your mailman is probably a Trump supporter. Your bus driver, the guy in the toll booth, when you pay your toll, he's probably a Trump supporter. Calm down, man. I'd rather Tom Brady. If we have to have one Trump supporter out there, let it be an entertaining mother lover. Let it be. At least he gave us, some sort of greatness, something to watch on a COVID Sunday Super Bowl. Some history to make. Thank you, Tom Brady, for providing us with greatness. Jesus of Nazareth. I'm signing off. We'll be back with the Nets wrap up on Tuesday. Yo, I like that. I'm in my flow now. I will be back with the Tuesday Nets wrap up. We might do a pregame. We gotta start doing pregames, man. We gotta be, we're stepping it up, man. And the series, of course, we're hyping it up. We're always promoting it. We're gonna just come up with just these ideas, our opinions. Just putting it in perspective, man. Just putting it in perspective for you. That's all. So I put Tom Brady's career in perspective a little bit. And today's Super Bowl, which is well deserved. There is no, you can't say he deflated the ball. Can't say any of that. You can't blame Spygate. You can't say it was Belichick, right? He did it. 7 rings, more rings than any team in the league history. Than teams. He needs a shirt like that. He needs a poster like that. Like all the teams, and then put Brady. He needs a shirt. The NFL needs to make a shirt. That's how you make money. He needs to sell that though. Tom Brady. He got the TB12 thing, right? The TB12 copyright or something like that. He's a G, man. Tom Brady's a G. Mahomes got 300 mil though, man. Congrats to him too. I hope he feels better. He seems like he'll be in the mix for a while too to get to the Super Bowl. Well, yeah, I gotta sign off now, man. Just wanted to react. Thank everybody again. I'm waiting for the 3B podcast from Kyle or Killer, and Stormy. I'm waiting for the Storm podcast too. She I think it's coming this week, she said. So that's awesome. Oh, and Alex Wolf podcast, the last one was blew my mind. Blew my mind. You guys got to listen to that Alex Wolf podcast. She's amazing. She was a genius. She related men's like, I guess, our infatuation, or just the fact that men love sports. And she related it to the fact that everything about, if you're playing soccer or basketball or football, everything has boundaries and is under control, basically. Right? You see a backboard, there's lines. You can't go out of those lines. Everything is under control. So you have to follow these rules. Everything except the ball that you play with. Why is that? Because it's filled with air. So it makes it uncontrollable. That's what brings the drama to the game, because of the suspense of you don't know what's going to happen next. And she tied that into just how men basically have daddy issues when their father's not around. And the first thing you say is, damn, you never played ball with me. Deep, going deep on the Super Bowl Sunday. Anyway, enjoy your Mondays tomorrow. I don't know if we'll be doing anything. I might hop on, man. I'm in the groove, man. In the groove. Southern groove. All right, man. Talk to you guys later. Take it easy.